Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fortress Comic News, episode 366. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host here, Mike. How we doing, Mike?
Good, everybody. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great.
I have a very lovely interview for everybody today, a jam-packed interview. There was already 3 people with the interviewees. So I had to step out for the interview. We have the hive mind on the show today.
Yes.
Jackson Lanzig, Colin Kelly. Unfortunately, I was under the weather and messing with the time stream and the timeline of things. I could not be there, but love those guys and all the crazy shit that they're doing. So
yeah, and we talk about it all. We start off with Star Trek, and then we
nice.
get into Knicks and principles.
Get the book you're not reading out of the way. Get Star Trek out of the way, because no offense to those guys. I love all the books they're doing, but I won't get into Star Trek for them just because I don't know anything about Star Trek.
I told them right off the bat that that's the reason. I was like, listen, I'm not a Star Trek guy. Yeah. So let's talk about Star Trek. Let's promote it. Let's see it.
Yeah.
And by the end, Jackson challenged me to read the first volume.
Okay.
So we'll see. I may or may not have started it. We'll talk about it if not, I finish it.
Okay.
But it's hard to deny when Jackson Lanzig's like, I challenge you to read this book.
If Jackson challenged you to do something, it's like, all right, well, you're one of my favorite comic book writers right now. I guess I can't turn you down.
Exactly.
I'm a Next Generation fan, so I feel like we're few and far between from what I understand of the Star Trek fandom. There's a big divide there. So
from what they told me, this book may appeal to you. Okay, so I'm taking off what they said to me. You're all going to hear about this later, but I'm going to explain it to Mike because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Apparently, like, Next Gen and Deep Space Nine and I think Voyager all happen in the same like time frame.
Okay.
And this book is playing in that like near the end of that time frame and like bringing together castmates from all the shows.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it might be within your Star Trek. We'll see. But
okay.
I'll let you know because like I said, I may or may not be reading it right now.
Nice. Now I just want to watch some Star Trek. I might have to download all the Next Generation and rewatch.
So, Mike, I wanted to play some show and tell with you.
Yeah. Show and tell time, everybody.
So
we do have a jam-packed show.
We do, but we're gonna make it longer by talking about D&D dice. So I bought some D&D dice. Okay.
Yeah. Nice.
Bam.
Very nice. Oh, very nice.
So you're not gonna be able to see because it's really small, but I've got a visual representation here of my new D&D dice that have a squirrel inside of them.
Oh my god! Did you get those from Foam Brain?
I don't remember the company. I got them off Amazon.
Okay, that's amazing. So that's a new thing I've been seeing is like dice with little animals or dinosaurs in them. I absolutely love that. That's so cute.
So I got that, and then as I was searching, I was like, because last session I played, man, we could not roll to save our fucking lives.
So of course you got to buy new dice. It's not the roller.
It's the dice.
It's the dice every time.
The dice lost their magic, but I also need a dice jail because the dice need to be punished.
Oh, there's a dice
They've been
jail.
Bad boys. They need to be punished.
Yeah, they gotta go.
I found a gelatinous cube dice jail.
Oh my god! So
it's hollow. So it just puts underneath and then bam.
Where do you find these things? Amazon?
Dude, just go when you take your next shit. Just sit on Amazon.
Sit on Amazon. Shit on Amazon. Sit and shit on Amazon.
That's their entire business model. Dude,
yeah,
taking dumps,
scrolling on their phone. What can I order within the that time frame? Amazing, I love it. I did not know dice jail was a thing, but I will for sure be purchasing one now.
Dice jails. So
yeah, that's awesome.
My next section. We're gonna make sure some bad boys get punished.
Even just having the dice jail there, the dice will feel intimidated to be like, I can't fuck up now.
It's like when you kill the one hornet and you leave its carcass on the window to warn the other ones to stay the fuck away.
When you crucify it with toothpicks. Wait, no, people don't do that. That's not a normal thing. And
digging deeper into Mike's horror. Horror.
We're moving on, everyone. Okay. TV, I will say something about X-Men 97. I watched the first episode, Chris.
Okay.
I I liked it, but I will say the animation is something to be desired because it is. You know what it reminds me of? It's a lot like Archer. That like the mouth moving kind of like the not the mouth. The mouth is almost like stagnant sometimes with like how or like their facial expressions. It's like a chunky animation. I don't know how to describe it, but it doesn't like flow.
It's them trying to take that classic style that the cartoon was,
but
also using CG.
Yeah.
And I've made my opinion very clear of this like CG hand drawn mixture that we're doing nowadays. Not a fan, but I can deal with it. But yeah, I know what you're saying. The animation is okay.
It's funny because I'm actually as far as animes go right now, I'm trying to like watch one at a time. Did I talk about how I finished Sandland on Hulu?
No, we can talk about it. I just finished episode 6, so I think I got 2 more to go.
Yeah, really good. That animation's all right. I was kind of used to that because of the last Dragon Ball Z movie is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Which is different than X-Men 97, but I'm almost done with Jujutsu Kaisen. So I've watched episodes 1, the movie, or season 1, the movie, and now I'm on season 2. I'm like at the end. And it's because there's like this battle. If you're ever going to watch it, which I think you should, because it's fucking insane, this show. People are like, okay, you'll get to season 2 and it's going to go off the rails. Like, I'm like, whatever, yeah. But like, there's a point at which there's this huge battle in Japan, and like these two characters just like wipe out the city completely. And like the battle lasts like a whole like episode, and it's almost like a Dragon Ball Z style battle contained within this show. And you could tell, like, I didn't even notice it, but there was some like corner cutting with the animation because it's all hand drawn. But like, apparently the story behind it is like the animators were just so exhausted and burnt out by the time they got to this epic battle, because like these battles are insane, the amount of animation that goes that they were just kind of like scribbling all over because it gets like wonky and like crazy and like, you know, all these explosions and fireballs and shit. But the battles are just like so epic, that like the pairings of the characters and shit. But it's just like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Like these animators are trying to get this out as quickly as possible, and they're like, we just need to fucking sleep, so let's put some scribbles here and there. Like, we just need to get this done.
Yeah, but I love that shit, man. Like there's so much more character to that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's like, I didn't even notice it. Like it was just epic to me, you know?
Yeah.
So,
no, but Sandland through 6 episodes is been very faithful to the manga.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I really liked it. I thought the animation, I agree. I think the animation works that way more for me because Akira Toriyama has done so much in the video game space, where like his style like makes sense that way.
Yep.
But I really enjoyed that as well. So
yeah, people don't know it came out after Dragon Ball Z, which is wild.
I thought it came out before.
No, the first volume of the manga, I believe, came out after Dragon Ball Z, which I always thought it was before too. When I went,
yeah. Well, it's only 1 volume. It's a one and done story.
Yep. Which is like, it's interesting. It's interesting because I think.
Oh yeah, 2003 is when it was first serialized. Yeah. So it has to be after Dragon Ball.
It was after, yeah, and I think it's interesting because I believe the way they ended it with the show, like they possibly could do more, but I don't think they would ever do that without Akira being around.
I'm sure the original plan was to.
Yeah.
Like, because he's had, I mean, it really sucks that he passed, because he had a renaissance the past like 5 years.
Right.
Like his shit is back in the mainstream.
Yep.
And he probably wanted to expand upon that story more.
And they announced that new show with Kid Goku, which I wasn't too crazy about, but I think he was involved with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then Super has been, apparently, I haven't watched much of Super, but I want to get further into it, but I've heard that's been firing on all cylinders too.
Yeah, so I watched all Super, the Japanese, the subtitled version. When they get I loved every minute of that. It gets really good. I know some people are like, oh, I wasn't too into it. I'm like, just stick with it. It gets epic. They have a whole universal tournament, and there's always a tournament that comes up. but
it would be Dragon Ball without a tournament.
Exactly.
I heard the only issue with it is that they do spend parts of seasons like recapping the movies.
Yeah, which is weird. That was the weird thing to me. It was like the movies and yeah, so you could like skip over those episodes. They just do the movies within those episodes, which is weird. But
strange choice, but
and I think they changed some stuff though. I'm not like I haven't like paid attention to how much different it is, but like the movies were always their own side stories. But like the way they did them this time was like it's almost like they did the Frieza movie and then they're like, oh, maybe we can turn this into a overarching story.
Yeah.
And for the people that didn't see the movie, they wanted to make sure they weren't confused. But like, what Dragon Ball Z fan is not going to watch the movie and the show?
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
For me, it's been a while since I watched those movies, so I would probably watch the anime and be like, fine, recapping those.
Yeah, right.
But
yeah, I get that too. But okay, long story short, I watched the first episode, episode 97. Yeah, it was all right. I'll probably keep up with it. I know you watched episodes 5 and 6. From what I heard, it's funny because this guy at work that knows I'm into comics brought in all his 90s X-Men cards, the trading cards. Yeah. And so we were like flipping through them, like nerding out. And then and I was talking about how I'm a huge fan of the Shi'ar. And then he texted me this weekend and said, hey, by the way, the Shi'ar show up in X-Men 97. And I was like, oh shit, I really have to catch up now. So
a quick tangent. A friend of mine and his wife were like, so they're living in the house that his wife grew up in.
Okay.
And they were like cleaning out the attic or something, and they found this stack of comics. And they're texting me like, are these worth anything? You know, the usual, somebody doesn't read comics asking.
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And I went through them like, not really. Like you could probably get a couple $100 at most for them. And that's if you find the right person. It'll take you forever. And they're like, well, do you just want them? I was like, sure, I'll give them a good home.
Yeah.
And it's all 90s Superman.
Oh, wow. Long
Death
hair.
of.
Yeah.
All that. But there's one gem in it that's not worth much, but just like a gem that I love. Which is the Elseworlds Superman speeding bullet.
Oh, nice.
Where Superman becomes Batman or something. It's been a while since I read it. Yeah, so I got those. I got to go through.
Awesome.
But
that's awesome.
Tangent over X-Men 97.
Yeah. Shi'ar. Tell me about the Shi'ar.
So I'll start with episode 6 because that's the Shi'ar. Yeah. So apparently Xavier's alive. He's up with the Shi'ar and he's going to become the Shi'ar king.
Yeah.
And so like half the episode's that, like him dealing with becoming royalty, but then in the end, like may not become royalty. And then the other half of the episode is and there's a lot of Gladiator in this episode.
Nice.
So like
Gladiator.
I love Gladiator, man.
Yeah.
And then the other half is back on Earth with Storm, who lost her powers, and like her journey to regain the powers, which was a really cool moment. Like her getting her costume and everything, and her long hair back. Because I never liked Mohawk Storm.
Yeah,
I liked like long hair with the black suit Storm.
Yeah,
like the
that was cool.
Look. And that's basically that episode. Like really good episode and all that. Episode 5 fucking is a heartbreaker, man. Like it's all about them going to Genosha right after like Genosha has been accepted into the UN and realizing that they have this thing that they always dreamed of for mutants, this home for mutants. And Genosha was like the home for mutants before Crow was ever in Jonathan Hickman's brain. And they're going through and they're trying to, figure that out. And there's a little bit of like, there's a love triangle going on between Rogue, Gambit, and Magneto, which is weird, but like whatever.
Wow.
And they're trying to convince Magneto to be like the leader and all this stuff. None of this means anything because literally partway through, Cable shows up through this portal and is just like, we need to get everybody out of here. And then he looks up and realizes he's too late and gets sucked back into the future. And that's when you see these like giant Sentinel like spider robots appear and just complete genocide.
Wow.
Of fucking Genosha.
That's crazy.
There's a great battle sequence. I'm trying to save people, all this stuff. And I believe I've talked about it before, but it might have been like fucking years ago. But watching this cartoon growing up, like Gambit was my favorite. And I think I've said this before too, but I think that's part of the reason I never liked X-Men was when I got into comics. Gambit was nowhere to be found in X-Men, so
Right.
I'm like, fuck these guys.
Yeah, what the hell? Come on.
And this episode ends with like this amazing sequence that ends in Gambit's death.
Ooh,
that
shit.
just like tore my fucking heart out, man.
You're like, no, I'm not gonna Gambit again.
And just the way he goes, I won't spoil how he goes out because that's the real spoiler, but the way he goes out is so fucking epic and just shows that Gambit's like a force. Like he's an important factor. He's not just the dude who has playing cards. Like and all that. But yeah, the show's phenomenal, man. Like just phenomenal.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta catch up for sure. And now we got Delicious in Dungeon episode 16, which I also have to catch up to. But what happened in this episode?
So the big thing in this episode is they find a way out of the dungeon. Like they figure out how it's transforming and how they can like follow it. And before they're able to get to the end and go up the stairs, they run into the two groups from 2 episodes ago.
Oh yeah, the ones that are like looking for them.
Yeah, and the one that has like the samurai in it.
Yep.
And they all get together to realize that the samurai guy was a part of their group originally, and he had left, and all this stuff.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so there's a whole backstory there, and kind of a cool moment of them all like getting together and trying to figure things out. Before they all get together, though, they cook a stone grilled cockatrice with egg, and cake. And cake? I don't know. It's like an egg sauce.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And then when they all get together, they all like are talking and they realize like we should make a meal together because it's Delicious in Dungeon. That's what we do.
Yeah, of course, right.
The funny part, Mike, though, is the meal they make is described as an Eastern meal. Because it's literally just like Japanese food.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's like rice and all.
Yeah, it's literally just what they are used to having. Yeah.
But like the title screen where it tells you what the thing is, it literally just says an Eastern meal, which I thought was funny.
Meal. Wow. That's awesome. I love that show.
And we get more insight in like the black magic that they used, and like
cool.
People are afraid of it, and what can happen with it, and all this. So
nice.
Awesome,
yeah, that's
awesome show.
That's I like that they cut away from like all the happy-go-lucky shit, and they're like, there's also death and resurrection and necromancy going on.
And we get a little insight in these like little creatures in the dungeon known as cleaners. And they like are literally like these parasites that eat the dead carcasses after you kill a monster, and like will fix the walls and all this. Like, yeah, it's
someone's got to do it,
dude. There's some really fun things in this episode.
I love the show.
The show's so great.
It is really great. All right, we're gonna jump to the comic news. There's quite a bit. Some more 2099 news from Marvel. They announced a new edition of the 2099 line with writer Steve Orlando and artist Nick Bradshaw. Ibrahim Robertson, Jose Luis, Pete Woods, Ario Anandito, and Dale Eaglesham. The event will be a new vision of the Annihilation event called Annihilation 2099. Orlando describes the comic as, here we go. Oh man, is this person still writing the same ads for Marvel? Is this the same person? I hope not. I hope this is going to be like last week.
They seem to be a little bit shorter this week.
Okay, so someone was like, tighten that shit up.
Somebody listened to our show last week.
Yeah. The heroes introduced in Annihilation 2099 are each heroes I could write forever, each with their own tragic beginnings in the mighty Marvel tradition, Orlando continued. And behind it all, an iconic horror anti-hero who is taking his vengeance to the stars. Red Hulk 2099, Silver Surfer 2099, Nova 2099. Marvel's future goes intergalactic this summer, and I can't wait for everyone to see it. That's actually pretty dope. That cover in itself with Silver Surfer versus Red Hulk there.
That's Mephisto.
Mephisto, sorry. I saw all the red. I've never read Annihilation, Chris, so I don't know what to expect, but I do like the 2099 series.
So first of all, shame on you. Second of all, it's Dracula 2099, everybody.
My God. Riding a giant, like, robot bat thing. Amazing.
I implore you to read Annihilation.
Okay.
I implore you to do it. Annihilation is really the beginning and genesis of what we know to be the Guardians of the Galaxy today.
Okay.
But Annihilation also is very deeply rooted in some cosmic Fantastic Four stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's one of what's funny about it is I think it's one of the best events Marvel's ever done. Mm-hmm. And I love Cosmic Marvel, so there may be a bias there.
Yep.
But it got overshadowed because it came out around the same time as Civil War.
Okay. I understand that now.
Yes. If nobody's read Annihilation, I think it's a long book. Like I think it's 3 trades worth of comics, so 12 issues, I think. But it's so good, all around. We've discussed it before. Like, not a big Steve Orlando guy. I have not really enjoyed any of the 29.9 stuff I've checked out. But if you put Annihilation on the title, I'm gonna check it out.
Checking it out. He's got to check it out. Yeah,
I love Annihilation, man. It's so good.
These covers look pretty epic. And
you'll love too. The Shi'ar Empire are involved.
Well, all right.
Gladiators involved.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear.
Yeah. Perfect. I'm so excited. I'm like, when I read this, I was so excited. I'm like, I want to pull my Annihilation books down, reread it. Like,
yeah. Well, this is a perfect time for me to read it. Then I'll have to check it out. I got it in my notes right now to read it.
I highly recommend it to anybody out there.
Marvel announced under the 20th Century Fox Studios comics imprint a crossover comic called Aliens versus Avengers. What? This series will reunite the creative team behind 2015 Secret Wars comic, writer Jonathan Hickman and artist Izad Ribic. Did it say Jonathan Hickman, Chris?
It did.
Hold on. Jonathan Hickman writing an Aliens versus Avengers book. Oh, all right. So hold on. This 4-part epic is set in a new timeline many years in the future and features older, grittier versions of Marvel characters. It also will be the first time readers will see certain parts of alien lore in the Marvel universe, like the home of the Engineers. In this unmissable series, xenomorphs reach Earth, and the perfect organism meets a planet of superhumans, but who will be first to fall? Okay, so nothing against Jonathan Hickman or any of the other writers that do these fun crossover, like beat-em-up books. The fact that Jonathan Hickman's writing it makes me think that it's not a crossover beat-em-up book.
I am so intrigued by this. When I saw the announcement, it was like, fuck yes, I'm all in on this.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
It didn't matter who was writing it.
Yep.
And then I saw Hickman was involved, and it's such a strange. It's a strange choice because, like, it's not a book I see Hickman doing.
Right. Yeah, me either.
But it adds to my excitement so much. Like, and to get that team back together, like that Secret Wars book, it would be tough for somebody to jump in right away and say, it would be tough for me to tell you, go read Secret Wars, because Secret Wars is the culmination of Hickman's Fantastic Four, FF, Future Foundation, Avengers, Illuminati, and Avengers Forever book come together into this one. You're talking about like hundreds of issues of comics to get to this. I love that it's Secret Wars book, but I understand that it's hard to get into. So to have that caliber of team on this, I gotta know. I
gotta read this. This is wild. This is like, to just be like, oh yeah, by the way, Jonathan Hickman's doing it, no big deal. Like, what the fuck?
And this is the stuff I want to see more of, because like we've seen it at DC quite a bit. You know, I remember Planet of the Apes versus Green Lantern.
Godzilla versus Justice League.
Yeah, Godzilla versus Justice League right now. I mean, remember like the Looney Tunes crossover, like
Jurassic League. Yeah.
Like they've done these cool crossover books at DC forever, and Marvel kind of hasn't done it as much. And now they own all these properties. And it's like, if there's going to be one benefit to them owning all these properties, like, do some crossovers for me, please. And now they're finally listening. So, I can't wait for Aliens versus Predators versus Avengers.
Dude, this is AVPVA. This is wild. Yeah. And they have a chance to like bring canon and the lore together somehow. That's why I think Jonathan Hickman's involved. Is there gonna be some like multiverse shit going on? Yeah, it's gonna be insane.
It's such a crazy combo. Like,
yeah.
Who? If you had to guess, who is going to have a face hugger on them and then a baby alien screaming through their chest?
Well, I feel like it's gonna be Cap, right? And then the alien's not gonna burst through his chest. He's just gonna like flex, and it's gonna like go and die because he's so strong. And then I picture like the other alien, like the alien spitting acid on the face of Iron Man and like burning through his suit. Like I can see all this crazy shit happening.
Yeah,
love it.
I can't wait for this book, man. Like,
yeah.
I'm already like a mark for Marvel stuff, but
yeah,
this week's announcements from them have been crazy, and this is the craziest of them all.
Yeah,
I'm so happy about them.
More stuff for Chris though. He's got more Daredevil stuff to read. So, new 4-issue Daredevil series, and this time it's about the Woman Without Fear, Elektra. This series is called Daredevil: Woman Without Fear, written by Erica Schultz, art by Michael Dowling. After the stunning events of Daredevil number 11, Daredevil's allies are left more vulnerable than ever before. If they're able to survive, it will fall to Elektra and Matt Murdock to not only save their city as Daredevil, but also protect the people they love the most, as they're targeted by some of the most dangerous, violent elements the Marvel Universe has to offer. Wow. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I like Elektra's Daredevil. It's fun. Like when Chip was doing it, it was a good time. So I'm down for this. It's a 4-issue series. I don't think it's going to blow my socks off or anything, but it's a Daredevil book, so I'm gonna buy it, and hopefully it's good.
It looks. I like that. I like that title page and cover. Is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see what the stunning events of Daredevil 11 are.
Yeah, I know, right? Can't wait to see. This is like a Chris week, everybody. Marvel made another announcement about one of his other favorite characters. Namor is getting an 8-issue series. And guess who's writing it? One of Chris's favorite Marvel writers, Jason Aaron, is back with artist Paul Davidson. This will be the first series that Aaron will pen for Marvel since his exclusive contract ended last year, which we're like, I didn't think he'd be back to Marvel so soon, but
I was worried he would be at DC for a while. Not worried because I've been really enjoying his DC stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The ancient underwater kingdom has found itself without its king and protector. In that vacuum, several would-be kings vie for the throne, while the mighty Namor languishes in a prison cell on the surface with no intention of returning to the sea ever again. Discover the events that shaped this anti-hero and how they chart the future of the kingdom with the last king of Atlantis this July. All right, Jason Aaron doing Namor. Chris's pull list is
that's good tight.
It's growing for sure.
Yeah, I love Namor, and they, in my opinion, don't do enough with him at Marvel. So when I saw a Namor book, I was excited, and then when I saw Jason Aaron was writing it, like fuck yeah, I'm all in.
I think the funny part about this cover is he's in like a prison jumpsuit, but they let him keep his blue trunks on underneath. I think it's like, you're in prison, but we're gonna let you keep your costume on underneath your prison jumpsuit
and his gauntlets too.
Yeah, his gauntlets too. It's very strange.
Yeah, I'll be curious because I'm also trying to remember where Namor left off, but I remember something with a power struggle with Atlantis. So it's been a while since he's done something, and yeah, dude, I'll take it. 8 issues, I'll take it. Like, just anything I can get on these characters that I think are underserved, that quite frankly can't hold on to an ongoing, I'll take. So I am so here for this. Yeah. Welcome back, Jason Aaron, to the House of Ideas.
Yep, there you go. He's back. DC Comics announced some news about their upcoming Absolute Power series. All right, about time. Ahead of the weekend's free comic book day, which DC has an Absolute Power special issue. As we know, the main series will be written by Mark Waid with art by Dan Mora, but there's also 2 companion issues. All right, here we go.
I should say companion series, not issues.
Oh, so yes, series. Yes. So there's more than one issue. Absolute Power Task Force VII, which would be Task Force 7 in Roman numerals. Interesting. Written by Leah Williams, art by Caitlin Yarsky.
Real quick, Caitlin Yarsky. Rochester, New York local.
Rochester, New York local. That's awesome.
Yep.
Shout out to her on a DC book. That's so cool. Absolute Power Task Force 7 will be, I think they're going to go with 7, right? I mean, we always say Task Force X, but like VII is just too long to say. Is a bi-weekly companion series that explores the events of Absolute Power from the supervillain's perspective as the Trinity of Evil co-ops the combined powers of Amazo and the technology of Failsafe in their quest to eliminate all metahumans. Interesting. Trinity of Evil. So that does look like a Failsafe. Well, I guess it's Amazo. It's an Amazo Superman we see there.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what book had the Amazo 3. Was it Batman? But Zernar was working on the Amazo 3.0.
I almost want to say it was Mark Waid's Batman Superman. There was an Amazo.
There was an Amazo in that, but that's not the book I'm referencing. It was a recent book the past month. I think it was the newest Batman.
The Failsafe was working on him. Yeah, maybe it was Batman. Yeah, Failsafe was working on a new Amazo. That's pretty cool.
So obviously, like this whole thing with Failsafe and what Chip's doing, and then what Wade's doing with his World's Finest book is all coming together for this big event. Yeah. And I am all in, baby.
Oh yeah, me too. And the other book, Absolute Power Origins, written by John Ridley, art by Aletha Martinez. Amanda Waller has been driving force behind Absolute Power and has long had a serious axe to grind against many humans. Find out what's led her to this place. In the tale, she suffered a catastrophic loss as she forwarded powerlessness into a path of vengeance fueled by 2 words that changed her life and the lives of everybody in the DC universe. Never again. Is that the cover?
That was the cover. I should have looked up who did the cover because it's an awesome cover.
It's very realistic.
Well, I mean, we haven't really gotten into it, but there's been a lot of accusations at DC about AI art.
Mm-hmm.
So it would not shock me. Yeah. But it looks like Ivan Rodriguez is credited.
Okay. And unfortunately, when I see a cover like this, I immediately think AI. But
his other covers are pretty detailed as well. He seems to have a Alex Ross-esque kind of thing going on.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, they touched on this a little bit in the Suicide Squad book that I'm reading, like her past. Amanda Waller. So I think that is interesting. Like, how can this woman be such a fucking asshole to everybody all the time? Like, there has to be a reason, right? So, I'll probably be reading all these books for sure.
I will too. They also announced like some of the main series books are going to tie in. I mean, that's to be expected with a big event. Right now, if it sticks to just these 3 titles for this big event, I'll pick up all 3.
Yeah.
It depends how much we expand this over the coming months to see how much I'm going to jump in. But I like the idea of both of these and where this series is going. So fuck yeah, on event books. I love that we're getting good event books again.
Good events. Yeah, it's a good events.
Dude, next month is Blood Hunt, and I cannot wait.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about Blood Hunt. DC announced that after Joshua Williamson's House of Brainiac crossover, Action Comics will get a new creative team as part of the Superman All-Stars line. The new team will be writer Gail Simone and artist Eddie Burrows, and I'll probably be leaving. Sorry, everybody. The first of Simone and Burrows' 3 issues kick off when massively powerful alien race makes their Earth their arena. Superman, DC's Man of Steel, must stand alone against impossible challenges that threaten locations all around the world and the lives of those he loves. Action Comics 1067 begins a not-to-be-missed epic tale of Superman's strength, wit, and resourcefulness at an early stage of public career. That's cool. Gail Simone fans. Gonna love that. I've read her stuff over the years. Not a huge fan, but great writer. I'm just not a fan of the way she writes. So
I'm not the biggest Gail Simone fan.
Yeah,
she's written some good stuff, but she's not somebody I follow on the regular.
It's a lot of words for me, and I'm just, if it makes me a putz, it makes me a putz. It's a lot of words. I'm gonna say I read comics to enjoy the art, and she always has a lot of internal dialogue and narration, and that stuff I just don't want. I don't need to know that much of what's going on inside Superman's. So that's just
heard it here first, everybody. Less words,
more punch. I mean, come on, that's what I like.
I think it's 3 issues, so I'll keep going with Action Comics. I've really been enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of like them playing with the timeline and being like, we're going to tell a story from his early career, where like the current book is right now what's happening.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I'll continue through it and see where it goes.
I do like reading a Superman book, so maybe I'll stick with it, but we'll see. Magma Comix, very cool. Announced a new series called Greaser Gemini Blues from Darick Robertson and artist Stephen B. Jones. All right, Darick, very cool. Looks like a nice sci-fi, interesting book. Buddy is a greaser living in Earth's future in the scorching Nevada desert, surviving by doing repairs in spacecraft of the aliens that moved in decades ago, the Gemini. Buddy and his grandma live in a simple, hardscrabble life in the roadside diner where he builds his dream car from scavenged parts and imagines what life would be like under the biodomes of nearby Old Vegas. The quiet life is interrupted when a ruthless motorcycle gang leaves behind precious cargo in their yard. The owners want it back. They'll destroy anything in their way. Thrown in a star-crossed love story, and you've got the world of Greaser Gemini Blues. Yeah, checking this out. Love Darick Robertson. He's a fan of the show, so I'm a fan of him. Yep.
It sounds interesting, and I love Darick, but if Darick wasn't involved, I would not be checking this out. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like,
yeah,
some of it sounds a little too out there for me. I'm not a big fan of like the let's do redneck sci-fi, and that seems to be what we're doing here. But we'll see. That all being said, review copies. So
yeah, buddy, I'll be reading the first issue.
Yeah, so at the very least, I'll be doing that, and but if it sounds interesting to you, everybody should support Darick and what he does, because he does not come out to do a comic often anymore.
Yep.
So when he does, it does give me the feeling of like he thinks he has something special.
Yeah. So I'm glad he's doing that.
Yeah. And Magma again, like fucking Darick Robertson.
Yeah, Darick Robertson and Magma. What the hell?
I gotta get some answers from Magma, man. I gotta figure this out.
Yeah. Dark Horse Comics, alongside Gearbox Entertainment, announced a new Borderlands comic that I'm sure won't be popular at all. A series called Tiny Tina's Wonderlands Land of Giants from writer Paul Tobin and artist Luisa Rosso. That was a joke, everybody. Our beloved bunker master Tiny Tina gathered together Fret, Valentine, and Hammerlock for a new adventure in Wonderlands. Skirmish, the Bogbarian, Crasher, the Stabomancer, and Blastine, the Deadshot must all fight, flee, and commit heinous acts of awesomeness as they hunt down a bounty on the giant Hilly the Kid. Featuring Claptrap and a horde of familiar faces from the Borderlands universe, readers can cheer on every badass moment. Now shut up and roll for initiative, suckers. Yeah, if you're a fan of Borderlands, I played a lot of Borderlands. I probably won't read the comic though, but I think that's really cool. They're doing this.
Okay, it was good you gave that caveat, because I was gonna give you one, because the part of the press release I was looking up, and every Borderlands comic has sold through and had at least 3 reprints.
So. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, there's a huge fan base. Yeah, no, and I love the game. I love the universe that they built. But yeah, that's really cool.
I'm a huge fan of the Borderlands universe. I have all the comics. I even have the 2 novels they did.
Oh, nice.
I'll definitely be picking this up, because I love Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, like that whole side thing that they're doing there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Having fun with Borderlands while like paying homage to like D&D culture and everything.
Yeah,
I'm there for it. So I'll definitely be picking this up. Can't stop the Borderlands collection now, Mike.
Yeah, I can't stop. You're too far gone. Miller World in the news. Mark Miller's long-running Miller World Comics was announced to be moving to Dark Horse this year. We know that Nemesis Rogues Gallery will be the first to come under the Dark Horse banner, but now we know that the next 2 will be Prodigy, Slaves of Mars. Interesting. Nightclub 2, The Magic Order Volume 5, and Jupiter's Legacy Finale. Awesome. I know you really like Nightclub.
I did not like Nightclub.
You didn't like Nightclub? Oh, okay.
No.
Maybe I was thinking of the other vampire book by Lemire.
I added this cover in just for you, Mike.
Wow. Thank you. The Jai Lee cover that everybody knows and loves, except me. I like Magic Order. I think I got like through 2 volumes of it. Really cool.
I I want to check out Magic Order, but now that it's moved to Dark Horse, like
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the reprint at Dark Horse.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's one I really want to check out. Jupiter's Legacy, obviously, we both really like. I like that he's finally gonna like put a pin on it and finish it. And then I never read Prodigy, but I think you liked Prodigy. Am I right on that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I really liked Prodigy. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm mostly looking forward to. I'll pick up Jupiter's Legacy. Like I've got every other Jupiter's Legacy book. I don't think there's been a bad one. I really like that series.
No.
So I'll pick that one up and complete the arc. Magic Order, like I said, when they restart reprinting the trades, I'll jump into that because I think that's a cool series that I missed out on.
Mm-hmm.
And but what I'm really looking forward to is when he brings back Nemesis. Like that's all I care about.
Yeah, Nemesis. I'm interested in Jupiter's Legacy finale because I don't even remember where we left off last time. To be honest,
it's been a while. I think the last. Oh no! So he did Jupiter's Legacy, then he did I forget what it's called, but it's Jupiter's something.
Yeah, Jupiter's Circle
book. Jupiter's Circle.
Yep.
And then he did Jupiter's Legacy 2.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're right. I don't remember that left off either. But hopefully he catches up.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, Mad Cave Studios announced last year they'll be a new home for Flash Gordon Comics. Just announced the creative team for the new series will be publishing with writer Jeremy Adams and artist Will Conrad. It's a really cool cover. Flash awakes on a secret prison planet somewhere in the galaxy. Upon learning that Dale Arden is the subject of an assassination plot, he's forced to break out and make his way across the galaxy to save her. Along the way, he encounters old friends, new threats, greater mystery surrounding who is pulling the strings of this universe. The first exciting issue in an all-new ongoing series. Yeah.
I love that cover.
Yeah, that's a really cool cover.
We probably discussed it at the time, but like Flash Gordon's another one of those IPs that have been like floating around that I have interest in, but never like jumped into.
Yeah, me too.
And this might be a good place to jump on. I mean, if what they did with
Dick Tracy
is to say what they have in store for Flash Gordon, then it's going to be good.
Yeah.
So I'll be excited to check it out.
Mad Cave doing cool stuff.
Yeah. And like I said, that cover, we got to look at that cover one more time. I love this cover.
Yeah, that's epic.
Like,
really
dude,
good.
it's so good.
Well, Conrad.
Jeremy Adams, man, like both these guys are DC guys. Jeremy Adams did some Flashpoint stuff and I think a Green Lantern book.
Isn't Will Conrad the artist on Barbaric or no? Am I not thinking? Might not.
Don't think so.
Maybe not.
Yeah, so Jeremy Adams did some Green Lantern.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Conrad.
He's the current guy in Green Lantern.
Yeah, Will Conrad did Red Lantern, Cyborg, Stormwatch, a bunch of Cyborg issues, Action Comics, Justice League Odyssey, a couple issues. Cool. Yeah, he did a lot.
Yeah, so you're actually reading some. Well, at least one. He's the one doing the Jay Garrick Flash book.
Yeah,
Jeremy Adams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and he's doing the current Green Lantern book, which I don't think you're reading.
No, I'm not reading the main Green Lantern one.
And he did a run on Flash as well for about 7 years. So he's been around doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome. This looks really cool. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Mad Cave.
Mad Cave doing cool shit. And then we'll talk about what we read this week. I read a whole one book because of my ailment. I read the I'm gonna mess up. I don't have the name right here for some reason. The Tales of Necromancy #1.
Principles of Necromancy
#1 from the boys.
The boys,
the Hive Mind that we just had on. I love the issue. Right up my alley, kind of horror-esque, almost like an anthology way of telling a story of this guy who just comes through town with the main character and kind of fucks up their day with his necromancy powers and makes a really awful looking monster. The mask that they made for that character, for the necromancer, is insane.
Yeah,
it was terrifying. That like one eye bulging out of it. That was insane.
The book is so good.
It's really good. So if you're a fantasy fan, dark horror stuff, Really good. It's a great book. Not anything like I've ever read from them before, so greatly enjoyed it. And next week I'll hopefully have a lot more to talk about. I got some catching up to do.
So last week I didn't have that much, and you did. This week you don't have that much, and I do.
Nice.
Starting with Superman number 12 or 13. Sorry.
Yep.
So continuing the House of Brainiac story. This one really takes place, like we see some of Metropolis and what Superman's doing, but the main gist of the story is Supergirl trying to escape on Brainiac's ship and kind of what's going on there. There's obviously something wrong with Brainiac, like he has some sort of illness.
Yep.
And yeah, House of Brainiac's been a lot of fun. Batman Offworld number 4. I think you gave up on this book.
I did.
So Batman has control of that ship now, and he's literally just going from planet to planet, like finding these slave encampments and like saving them. And basically the story is that like him going and like saving these people, but meanwhile being like, should I, like, I'm doing good here, should I do this? But like back home at Gotham, what's going on? And we do get kind of a flash over to Gotham where Commissioner Gordon's sitting there with the bat light on, or the bat signal, being like,
where is he?
What the fuck? And also these people that are running the show in this galaxy are not happy with Batman, what's going on. So they're trying to figure out where he's from. Like, and there's a funny moment where like, where does a Batman come from? And stuff like that.
Where does one come from when they're a Batman?
But there's a bounty put out on them, and I think the cool part of this issue is one of the bounty hunters that goes to attack them is the Thanagarian, the Hawk people.
Yeah, the Hawk people. Yep.
Yeah, so he's like an evil Hawkman.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, so there's a big fight there at the end that kind of like the fight starts, and like next issue is going to be what it is.
Nice.
But yeah, this has been one of the better issues of the series. I'll give it that.
Okay.
I still do prefer my Batman street level, but
yeah.
Beware the Planet of the Apes number 4.
Oh shit.
Final issue. So Mike, I was correct. There was a mind wipe at the end.
Interesting.
So yeah, so basically they fight the gorillas. They find some like howler monkeys, like the little monkeys with the little ones, black and white faces.
Yep.
They find a bunch of those that are like in a slave encampment working for the gorillas. So they free them as part of their like mission. And then they end up saving the little ape that they came to save, and the humans with the mind powers erase their memory of what happened, replace it with a different memory. And then it literally leads right into the beginning of the first Planet of the Apes movie, where you see the ship coming down about the crash. It was a good series, but like I knew because they were breaking continuity so hard. I'm like, there's gonna be a mind wipe somewhere in here.
Yep.
I'll be quick with this one, but Biden's Titans versus Trump Titans number 1.
Oh hell yeah!
So Trump sends the Biden's Titans to a battle world.
Nice.
To have a secret war.
Oh my god!
And it's literally just the whole issue of him being like, "I want you to fight you."
Yeah.
And so like he has so there's the future or the current timeline AOC, the past AOC, and then Greta Thunberg.
Wow.
And he sends them to fight Ted Cruz.
Oh my god.
Shit like that happens. And then it's just we find out there's somebody behind the scenes like kind of messing with the timeline because we get 2 endings.
Okay.
And you don't know which one's real. And I'm pretty sure it's Mickey Mouse because the next issue is Biden's Titans versus Mickey Mouse.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
I love this book so much. It's hilarious. A blast. Yeah, if you like good political humor, like they trash everybody in this.
That's awesome.
Like Trump gets his. There's a moment where like Biden like says something incoherent, and everybody's just like, "I guess Biden's having a day again." Like, it's great, awesome. Man. Weatherman Volume 3, Number 4.
Nice.
So the Weatherman, he sets off another bomb like he did on Earth that sends out that like that noxious gas that killed everybody. And so it's the president trying to figure out like, what do we do? Because last time we like nuked it and it just kind of ruined everything, as nukes tend to do.
Yeah, kind of.
So she's being advised to nuke again. She's like, no, we're not making the same mistake twice. All this. There's a coup for the White House and somebody like attacks the president. And then our team that's been throughout this volume lands on a planet where Nathan is, the Weatherman, and is coming to do something, whether it be like some of them want to just take him out, and then the girl that brought him in and got him to change back to his previous persona feels bad, so her goal is to kind of get him out and try to help him, because it's that whole dilemma of like, you know, he had two different personalities. Is the Weatherman personality really at fault for what the terrorist personality does, kind of thing.
Right.
So awesome book. Avengers Twilight number 5. Essentially, Red Skull turns on Ultron, and then he attacks the president. This seems to be a theme in my comics this week. And kills the president.
Oh man.
And now the Avengers have to come and like take out Red Skull. But as they're fighting Red Skull along the way, like Tony Stark's son gets involved, and he has like a whole army of robots that he's bringing in. And it looks like the next issue is going to be this like epic battle to see who takes over America. Avengers Twilight's a really good fucking book. Ultimate Black Panther number 3. So Black Panther meets Storm and Killmonger in this issue, and they take him to this. So you remember in Aladdin when they went to the cave that was a giant like tiger's head?
Yes. Yeah.
So they took Black Panther there.
Okay. On a magic carpet.
Yes. And show him that like something's going on that doesn't necessarily involve Wakanda, but involves like all of Africa and how they need to come together to fight Ra and Khonshu. And we're not really sure what it is, but it looks like some sort of power source that's been hidden underneath like the caves of Africa. And all you see is this giant glowing ball and just skeletons everywhere. So it's either a power source or a weapon, but something's going on. And that's really the whole issue. A lot happens, but at the same time, like there's so many questions throughout it, because a lot of the book is Black Panther and Killmonger like discussing basically African politics in this world.
Right.
So it was a really cool issue. Let's see. Cobra Commander number 4. Cobra Commander finds what he's looking for, which is the scientist who can create the weapons out of Energon.
Okay.
And then he finds out that Cobra all along planned on him finding it and then immediately killing him so they could take the weapons, because he's kind of a loose cannon. But it's Cobra Commander, so he wins. And now he's going to go back to Cobra La and I'm assuming take over. But at the same time, Destro has been the one that stole the scientist to begin with, because he has a source of Energon that he wants to use for different things. So now there's like, villain on villain crime going on here. So I'll be interested to see where the next issue lands. And it makes it even more interesting to know the next series is a Destro series.
Oh, okay.
So who knew I'd be so into fucking G.I. Joe?
Yeah, I know. Talking G.I. Joe lore. What the hell? That's amazing. You're like, but Cobra Commander's always going to win. That's what Cobra Commander always does. I'm like, all right, Chris, I believe you.
And then Batman Superman World's Finest number 26. I'm really sad I didn't read this issue because there's so much imps in it.
Oh, damn.
So Batmite, Mixoplex, they're here. They tell them what's going on, and they have the corpse of the Green Arrow imp.
Oh, yeah.
That died in the Anthology. And they're like, somebody's killing us, all this stuff. We don't know what's going on. We see that there's some sort of force behind the scenes that's like using evil imps to try to like challenge the heroes of Earth Prime to see who can challenge him. So it's almost like a Secret Wars thing where like this guy's creating these circumstances to like find the best so he can fight them. And we get, I don't know if they've ever been seen before. To me, they're new, so I'm gonna go with they're new. But we get a Sinestro imp. We get a who's the magician that fucking Flash fights? I'm already forgetting it.
Weather Wizard?
No, it's literally a magician from the future. And it might even be the magician.
I think it is just the magician, yeah.
But he gets an imp.
What the hell?
And like we see like all these villains are getting imps to like overpower them. And
That's
now
funny.
like the Justice League's being attacked by these things.
That's
but
awesome.
Batmite and Mixoplex are helping Batman and Superman to fight them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome issue. Great issue. Also, they switch. So Mixoplex goes with Batman and Batmite goes with Superman.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking love that issue, man. I can't wait for you to read it.
That's awesome.
Kickstarter book I got. Minutes to Midnight, The Hours Between Life and Death. This is from our buddy Fernandez Lecuix.
Okay.
It's a great anthology book. It's 4 short stories, literally surrounding the whole concept of life and death.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of them is just a warrior in like Spartan times and like how he handles it, and one of them is like somebody who's terminally ill, trying to figure out. And then there's like a superhero one in there.
Cool.
It's a lot of fun. I think what's really cool about his books, I've told him this before, like I don't know how he pays for them because the art is like big 2 quality.
Wow. That's awesome.
And so when you get one of his books, at the very least, you know that his art that he pays for is top notch.
Cool.
Yeah, so really like that. And then I had 2 books that I reviewed that are coming out as you're all listening to this today.
Nice.
Man's Best #2. I don't really want to spoil it because they come out today, but like if you like the first issue, I think this issue is more of the same, but like more action. So like they're fighting more robots. There's a little bit more inner turmoil between the animals and like their relationship and how they're getting through things. Art's phenomenal. That was one of my things. Like I love the art in the first issue, but like I was wondering how action sequences would really work for him because his art's messy. And he nails it.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think Pornsack's got a great book on his hands with this one. And then from Distillery, I've got Spectregraph #1.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book that Christian Ward and James Tynion are doing.
Okay.
Mike, this is the tale of 2 comics. The first half of this comic is god-awful. Like, the art's phenomenal. Christian Ward kills it on every fucking panel because that's what he does. He kills it.
Yep.
The first half is about this woman who like is a single mom, and she basically is going to work as a realtor and she has to sell this house, but she like forgets her baby at the house, and she's talking to her friend on the phone, like trying to convince her to take care of the kid for her.
What the hell?
And I'm like, hey, this is really weird as like a motivation for this character because it does come into effect later on.
Mm-hmm.
But B, like it's like 2 teenage women talking to each other, and it's really annoying to read.
Yeah.
And then on top of all that, I'm just the entire time like, there's just no, like, she's like, well, I can't lose my job and all this. I'm like, lady, there's no question here. You have one thing you need to do, which is turn that fucking car around, go get your kid.
Right.
Yeah. I don't care if you lose your job. Like that's the only decision here.
Right.
Of course she doesn't take it, but so immediately I'm just like, so she's a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
Second half of the book, when they finally get to the mansion that she's supposed to sell, it ends up being this weird mansion that's like built by this eccentric billionaire who's passed away and was like really involved in the occult and all this stuff. And these people who are maybe vampires, I'm not sure, want to buy it. And they go inside and it's this whole house that's controlled by these like clockwork mechanisms.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really fucking weird stuff.
Weird.
But we find out, and this isn't a spoiler because it's on the fucking cover of the book, but we find out that like there's some sort of, whether it be ghost or monster in the house, and basically the 2 get trapped in it and it becomes a haunted house book.
Okay.
That part of the book I really fucking liked.
Yeah. But to get there was really annoying.
Yeah, I almost quit to get there though.
Yeah,
like I
that's
think
weird.
they really should have figured that intro out a little bit better. But
It's a weird way to get there.
All that being said, like I'll read the second issue because I thought the ending was powerful enough that I'm like, okay, you've got a cool like haunted house in this weird mansion book that I'm interested in. But yeah, the intro was bad. That's really bad.
That sucks.
Weird intro to Distillery for me, but hey, at least it was good, I guess. Mike, that was everything I read this week. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
You can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter, also at chriscomicscorner.substack.com. You can find the show at fortresscomics_ on Twitter, also at fortresscomicnews.com. Support for the show, 5-star reviews on podcatchers. Like, subscribe, share, comment down below on YouTube and patreon.com/fortresscomics. Thank you all so much for watching and or listening this week, and we'll see y'all here next week.
Goodbye.